I do deeply apologize for that, and I think it's just such an oversight on my end, and frankly, it could be considered lazy. Just that, um, and I wish I actually reached out to you.
Hi, and welcome to Floats and Talk. I'm Kjersti Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood and working as an entertainment reporter. So I had such a good morning. It was just so unexpected that this happened. So there is a creator out there. His name is Sloan. Maybe you've seen him. He's got like over 1 million followers on his YouTube channel. And he created some content around me that wasn't very flattering. He was trying to discredit me as a person, as a journalist. And it actually hurt me because, it's never great to see things like that being said about you. Most of the times I'm just like, rub it off. And I'd forgotten about it until I saw that he used my content on his channel. And I wasn't too pleased about that. Uh, so then he reached out to me and he wanted to come on here and apologize to me. And I was like, that is so cool. And I really respect that. And I think it's just such an amazing example of how, you can solve a conflict. It reminded me of how Blake Lively should have done the same thing to me. And things probably would have been very different right now, I think, if she had owned up to her mistakes. But anyway, Sloan is here to apologize. And yes, here he is. Hi, Sloan.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity right now. This is wild.
Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. So you're here to say you're sorry. I love that you are owning up to things, and I think it's just such a great example. Yeah. So how do you feel?
Yeah, well, first off, I just want to say I respect everything that you've done. I've like really looked into your career and did my due diligence, and it's just impressive. It's something that I aspire to be like someday. And yeah, I wanted to apologize because I did not intend to steal from you, and it's absolutely what happened. And I regret that because I understand that. Well, I actually don't even fully understand how difficult it is to go into organize those kind of meetings to get to that certain PR level. And it was such an oversight on my end that it really bothered me that not even like that well, in addition to stealing your content, but also just to rub you the wrong way in that sense, because you've got such a you've got your own thing going here, especially here on YouTube, and I wouldn't want to take away from that. And when you brought up the proper crediting and not even bringing up your Flossom channel and things like that, I felt like you made such a great and valid point that it's a learning lesson for me, and I think for the bigger picture as well on YouTube, and when it comes to copyright and things of that nature, it's a complicated matter that needs to be discussed more.
Okay, I just have to jump in here quickly to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, June's Journey. Okay, to all you internet sleuths out there who've been using your amazing investigation skills to get to the bottom of the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively drama, this is for you. Okay, so I am not like a gamer myself whatsoever, but when there's glamour and glitz and murder and drama involved, I'm all in.
Help me understand. The police called it a murder-suicide.
So June's Journey is a hidden object mystery game that takes you straight into the roaring 1920s, where you step into the shoes of June Parker. She's a fierce and independent woman with one mission: to solve her sister's murder. But of course, nothing's ever that simple. As she digs deeper, she starts uncovering layer after layer of family secrets, scandals, and betrayals that threaten to change everything. Okay, so this isn't just about solving a crime, it's about the journey. June's story explores some serious deep themes: family relationships, motherhood, love, betrayal, social injustice, and all the messy gray areas in between. Another great thing is that the story keeps evolving. So they're adding new amazing chapters every week. So you never run out of mysteries to solve. So if you're interested in solving more mysteries than Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni right now, you can download June's Journey for free. Just use the link in my description or scan the QR code and start investigating. June's Journey is available on iOS and Android and PCs.
I think so. I think you're right. And I think as creators, I feel like we should be on the same team always. You know, I question people in power, people that are entitled manipulators. But I think it's great that we as creators try to lift each other up. And help each other out, because we can. You know, I love collaborating with other YouTubers as well. And I've been watching your content, but then I saw the video what you made about me and they pissed me off. Why did you do that? Because I haven't seen it now. I watched just a small part of it and I was like, why is he trying to discredit me? Because you did make a video about me. That wasn't very nice.
Yeah, I think so. I think you were mentioned in several videos. Now, just to give you some context, I don't actually do the research behind my videos. I work with a team of people, so they just kind of throw in clips together. So from my assessment initially, clearly it was not thoughtful and not well researched on my end, and that's my fault because I'm the face of the content over here, and I'm the one who then has to answer for like why I hurt your feelings and why I would make statements in a sense that discredited you, which is absolutely something that I regret doing. And I that's why I wanted to also make this connection with you, because to me that just doesn't speak to my character. And I think sometimes on the internet it gets so easy to like just say whatever and not think about the implications. And I wanted to make sure that you can hear from me that it's a learning lesson. And also just I don't want to that I am maybe introducing you to people that have not seen you before and then I'm discrediting you. It's just not what I want to do with the content. So I do deeply apologize for that. And I think it's just such an oversight on my end. And frankly, it could be considered lazy, just that. And I wish I actually reached out to you. I think sometimes I forget
Me
that
too. Yes. Because I think, you know, what I love about YouTube, people have so many different opinions here. And I
Mhm.
love discussing different opinions. And I think it makes such great content as well when you have different opinions about things. So I've seen a lot of people have opinions about me and don't agree with me. But when people are trying to like tear down my character, that's what, you know, that's what hurts. But I love that you said that and now, and that you are apologize. That's really meaningful. And I think it's so meaningful for people to see that it's possible. You know, I wish Blake Lively would have done that.
Actually, I want to ask you, like, because you have gone viral in a way that, like, I've never experienced, like, of course, people will pull clips from mine. Like, Hulu just put a documentary out with one of my videos in it, never told me about it. Like, it's
Oh,
crazy
wow.
how these things work. But
Okay.
your clips have gone viral in a way where, like, they've gone beyond, on TikTok, so many different pages and those things. How is it like dealing with, because I'm sure you get a lot of people who are like kind of Blake apologist coming after you. Have you been feeling the heat of it?
Yes, a lot. You know, there are people out there that are really attacking me and other creators. You know, I am trying from my journalistic point of view. I worked as a journalist for 20 years before I started this series on YouTube. And I always try to do my research and look at both sides. But I also, as you know, have personal experience with all these
Mhm.
people. So it makes it a little bit different. But I think right now, what we've seen, and I've seen a lot of my other colleagues here on YouTube are saying that we're being attacked for being misogynist, like you're a sexist. And I'm like, I'm a woman. And I think, you know, we have to see that women lie too. You know, it's not like I don't believe every woman, like by default. I need to see evidence, because if we do that, I think that's very dangerous. And I think for a man, I don't know what happened on that set. No one really knows except the people that were there. But I think we owe the respect to everyone to get all the details and all the facts before we judge someone. And, you know, I experienced like you're saying, viral, when that article hit New York Times, people were attacking me and saying, you were paid to do that. That's horrible. And you're a horrible person. We trusted you. And I saw, how that it's so easy to flip something around. And, I knew that that wasn't true, but I had to come out and try and convince everyone to say, well, it's not true. The New York Times didn't do their due diligence, which people have a hard time believing. But I'm sure, when you read that article, that you probably thought
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, and I love that you're championing like just your independent like perspective of it too, because like you said, there are like these two sides of it. It's giving me very much like Amber Heard, Johnny Depp energy, which is hard to navigate in, especially when there are these updates. We got that initial filing from her. We're all going to feel a certain type of way. But oh my gosh, it reminds me of like even a show I just watched on Netflix of like how the big people in charge can really be working together to deceive you. And like the New York Times, it's like you would think, like coming from a journalist background, like we aspire to that kind of level. And the fact that they were able to manipulate that kind of campaign, I think it's atrocious. And I think it's like also so meaningful that the clips that you've had in the past too, it speaks to a bigger character, because now this case is going into character. Like there's facts, there's timelines, but there's also who these people are. And that's what I think is so rich about your interactions and these moments, because I think we all like can operate like in a standard way, a normal way, but some of the moments you've had, especially with Blake Lively,
I know.
they're bizarre. So I think it's like actually you've added like an element to this entire case that wouldn't be there, because if you look at SEO, it's like you look up like rude moments of like Blake Lively, those are highly looked up because it speaks to her character. And no matter who you are, remove the case out of there, people don't behave like that.
No, they
In those
don't.
moments, did you have like was it so incredibly awkward for you, or did you kind of feel prepared for that kind of Blake?
No, I never experienced anything that on that level, because there were two against one. I've had experiences with one-on-ones that were awkward or uncomfortable, like you saw maybe in my Anne Hathaway interview. But I've done probably 1,000 interviews. So every single journalist that I know of that we all know each other in the junket
Mhm.
circuit when we do these press junkets. Every single person has had these kind of experiences. They just don't show it. So there's so many of these interviews in people's drawers
Oh.
everywhere. They don't want to show it because when I did that, when I posted that video, that was a huge risk for me to take, because
Mhm.
it could go both ways. I didn't know what would happen. I was like, people might watch it, people might hate me for it. I was more expecting for people to hate me for it, actually, because that's the experience I had before. And I saw that happening a little bit when I posted that Anne Hathaway interview. People were like,
Mhm.
you're a bad journalist. And the thing is, I showed it to also show a vulnerability of myself. Like,
Mhm.
I had this idea, it worked, and then it didn't work. And I kind of owned it and made it kind of to be a little bit funny, but then it just spiraled out of control. And as you're saying, people take little clips and then they talk about it and they
Mhm.
put it on TikTok or Instagram, and then it taken out of context. And then it's like, oh, it's her, she's the bad reporter. And I think, a lot of reporters are afraid of that. And also that, you get blacklisted. If you
That's what I
put
want
it,
to ask you about. Like,
yeah.
because, like, so have you, because I feel like at least where I've picked up on your content, like, you have been able to, like, pull these moments from the past, which actually I really love, because I think it shows, like, human interaction when people are, like, when you do have that awkward moment, or the question is odd, or they're rude to you. I think those are, like, what people actually do want to see. So I'm glad you're, like, honing in on that. But is there, when we see, like, these press tours for these movies and things, I don't even know how you get into that room, and clearly like that process, but is there any risk to your future and like being able to go and do those kind of things, like if now that you are like showing this content? I'm assuming that like the New York Times kind of operates in like that same way with a lot of these reporters. They'll go and they want to make good face and get a good story, so they're invited again and they continue this flow. How
Yeah.
has your experience been with like the blacklisting aspect?
Oh my God. All my colleagues have been blacklisted at one point as well. But the
Really?
thing is, for me right now, I'm not that interested in doing these anymore. First of all, because most of them are done on Zoom right now.
Mm.
So, you won't get that connection with people. You don't
Mhm.
have that, I don't think that's a good way to interview people. It's so much better to meet people in person, because then you feel like there's a connection there, and you get a much better conversation. And the thing is, honestly, there's no market for these interviews anymore.
Mhm.
And people, TV shows, they don't want to air them. So it kind of died out by itself, because they're not engaging. And I see, you know I get a lot more views with on my channel from just sitting talking about things than
Uh-huh.
actually an interview with Robert De Niro or Meryl Streep, these big stars. I can get like 5,000 views on an interview with one of those biggest Hollywood stars. But when I talk like this, I can get 100,000 views. So, people aren't that interested in those, because they know it's a setup, it's fake.
Mhm.
Most of the time people are on their best behavior when they when they don't forget to, so yeah, so honestly,
Absolutely. And I think
yeah.
that's so cool too, because you've had your career in journalism, but you are advanced because you're tapping into where the viewers are coming in to, we're on YouTube, and it really gives us a lot more power in not only like our own storytelling, but just, I mean, the platform itself. I mean, looking at your views, like you're consistent, like posting, like you're doing everything. When I looked at YouTube channels, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what you should be doing, posting a lot. You're getting great views because of it. It's really cool to see how the like media has kind of shifted in this way, to where like someone like you and I can go and garner views more than like, an e-news article could, or a little clip on an e-news
Definitely.
website. It's like that'll get what, maybe 10,000 clicks or something. And I love that the power has kind of shifted, at least for
Yeah,
now.
I mean, you have a lot of followers too. You have like over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That's really impressive. So I mean,
Yeah.
you've done a lot of things right as well.
Well, I mean, and it's the hardest part is just like building your format and your consistency, and the fact that you like have gotten your flow, and that you're able to like continue to get those views. I mean, that's all any YouTuber could really hope for. Even the subscriber count, like, I'm sure, in the studio, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's more about who's watching and how long they're watching. But
Yeah.
I've been in it ever since the Free Britney movement, and that kind of helped me get my way in. And slowly I've just been creating content. So that's why I was really grateful to meet with you today, just because I felt like you recognize that like this is hard work, and that it was such an oversight on my end. So really grateful to connect with you on that. And also like excited to have a new connection to someone on YouTube, especially because there's not a lot of like help or assistance out here. And a lot of fellow creators I talk to, we give each other tips and things like that, or questions. And you see something pop up in the studio app and you're like, what does this mean? It's like, it is a confusing place to be on.
It is, but it's such a great opportunity as well to meet and connect with people. I think I've connected with so many creators, and it's been really amazing to see, big ones, smaller ones, and to collaborate on things. So I'd love to come on your channel as well if you want to interview me. I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I'd love to like write down some questions of kind of how I'd like to organize it. And then I think it'd be a great conversation, especially because I have so many questions personally about like what that process is like. And I feel like I've been on the other side of like, at least I just started doing a few like red carpet interviews in the past few months,
Oh,
but I've
that's
been
the worst.
yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean, it,
God.
it's nerve-wracking because I'll have a video about like Big Ed, and Big Ed from TLC, and he won't. I'll be like, oh, is he gonna recognize me or not? It's got like 500,000 views, and then he comes up to me and he has no idea who I am, and I'm like, oh, thank God, because I've been in my little bubble in here, and I forget there's an outside world.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's hard to get people to talk to you on a red carpet. There's never any guarantee usually, and unless you have an
Mhm.
appointment beforehand, that they will say, okay, this person is going to come up to you. But a lot of the times, it's just like they're just walking by you and like, hi, and you're like, oh my God, I've been here for 2 hours, and you don't even stop to say one liner or whatever it is. So yeah, that's really rough. That's hard work, I have to say. But bow down to everyone that's doing the red carpet,
Yeah,
because
that was
I don't have
I was on
patience
one
for it at
last
all.
night, and I was like, I saw Frankie Grande, and I was like, oh gosh, because I do some Ariana Grande videos, and I'm like, I really hope he doesn't recognize me. But you know what? I realized like people don't
No,
usually
they don't.
expect. We actually like. I feel like I appear very different in the real world too. People think I'm like a lot bigger than I am. So I'm like, I'm just little me over here in this little bubble. So that's why I think like it's such a good learning lesson to meet with you too, because I forget that I'm in this world of like, and I'm sure you know how content creation goes. You can just get your head into it and you just want to get the next video out. And so it's really nice to sit back and reflect on this and also to just take
Yeah.
some
The thing is,
lessons back.
yeah, and the thing is, we have a lot of responsibility that we have to, own up to, because a lot of people are listening, and it's so, so I feel like the responsibility we have as creators is pretty big. Like you're saying, our voice are heard more than
Mhm.
the news sites. More people watch your video than they watch a video that's sometimes on not even Daily Mail, but other, smaller media
Yeah.
sites. So that's a lot of responsibility. So, but
Yeah. And thank
anyways,
you for letting me come on and apologize. I do
thank
apologize
you.
for not only the video, but also just the bad takes. And I'm really grateful that you've given me a chance just to meet you and to make this connection and to show you that I'm willing to be on the right side of everything. And I want to be on your good graces. So thank you.
Thank you. We don't have to agree on everything, but I really love this.
Mhm.
This is just like, I respect you so much for doing this. I think it's an
Thank
amazing
you.
example to everyone that, and it makes me feel good. I'm sure it makes you feel really good too. And yeah,
Thank you so much to Sloan for doing this. I really appreciate that he came on here and, owned up to his mistakes and said he was sorry. And something really great came out of that. I really like him. And I'm going to go on his channel and he's going to interview me there. So stay tuned for that. I will give you an update on that. And I just think that, if someone treats you badly or say bad things about you, I always like to actually go up and confront people about it. I've done that a lot of times. It's really stressful when you do it and it's uncomfortable, but the feeling that you get afterwards is just so worth it. And it just makes you feel so good. One thing is you stand up for yourself. And another thing is on the other side too, if you've done something wrong or if you hurt someone, to actually own up to it and say you're sorry makes you feel much better too. So I hope this episode was a bit encouraging to everyone to say you're sorry to someone today if you feel like, you always know inside in your gut feeling if you did something that wasn't right. And I just think saying sorry is such a good thing to do. Anyways, thanks for watching my channel, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode and thanks for sending me so many tips. I am going through all of them. I have so much to talk about in my next episode. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thanks for your support. Yeah, and of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification button. It helps my channel a lot, the more subscribers I get. So I really, really appreciate your support. And take care of each other and be nice to each other and say you're sorry to someone. Thanks again to June's Journey for sponsoring this video. If you're interested in June's Journey, you can download from the link in my description or scan this QR code. See you in my next episode. Bye.